Here we've got a really good hockey team coming into town on Friday and Saturday nights. I think we've got a whiteout one or two of the nights this weekend. We've got all sorts of things happening that'll be happening pregame as well as some fan interest things. But Bemidji State's a really good hockey team. They're 7-7-3 overall right now. They lost some games earlier that they probably would like to have back. But hey, they just played home and home with North Dakota. They won 2-1 at Bemidji on Friday night. They tied 3-3 at Engelstad over in Grand Forks on Saturday night, and that's pretty good because Nodak was ranked number 15 in the country going in and had been winning games, and Bemidji played them really, really tough, and they got good performances out of a lot of good players, and we'll talk about their lineup, but what do you think here? We got a really good team coming in. Lakers are playing very, very well. Should be a heck of a series.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome weekend of hockey. You know, like I said, they beat the Gophers the week before, 2 weeks before. So they've had a couple really quality wins over the last couple of weeks. So you know they're confident. You know, coming off a great year. You know, their playoff run last year, they were by far the best team in the league. They lost some key guys off that roster. And so I think we were all kind of interested to see how they retool and reboot from that. And then they've done a great job. You know, I think Coach Saratori's been around for a couple of years there. So, he knows how to run his locker room and run his program. But structurally, too, they are who they are. You know, I think that's one of the big things. When you don't see them very often, they can be a really difficult matchup because they're pretty unique in the way they play, the way they do some of the structure they play with, certainly their OZP and even some of their zone exits, the way they play. So, fortunately, we've got some good familiarity with them that way. I thought their speed stood out on video. You know, watching the North Dakota series back, they play with a ton of pace. And part of that is because they underhandle pucks. They don't have the puck on their stick very long, which allows them to play with speed away from it. And they got guys flying and stretching and things like that. They put your D under a ton of duress there, and so we've got to be ready to handle their speed in particular. Unfortunately, like I said, a lot of our guys have played them and have a feel for the way they like to play, and we got to catch the other guys up. Guys like Mike Brown and Johnny Druskinis, transfers who have not played them, really show them what that looks like and have them prepared for that style of play.
And they've got top-notch goaltending.
Yes.
Scholl's as good as there is in the CCHA. One of the better goaltenders in the country, really. And they've got enough veterans. You know, you look down that lineup, they got seniors and graduate students all over the place, and guys who we've been watching for quite a while now. Yuri Vaisanen's really good. How about Eric Martin? Seems like he's been playing there for about 10 years now. He's a right winger on their top line. Adam Flamang's a really good junior. They got a good hockey team, and they're good on defense, too.
Yeah, Scholl, like you said, experience. I think he's close to 100 career games played, and you get above that 60, 70, 80 game mark, you become a very experienced college goaltender, and Scholl has that in spades. A huge test there to contend with him. If you can get through some of the speed and some of the way they underhandle pucks, then you've got arguably the top goalie in the conference, one of the top goalies in the nation, sitting there again. Just showed it with some of the wins they've had recently, like that. And I think, Bill, like you hit it there too. If you look at their top, I think I've got their top 5 or 6 scorers here in front of me. Martin's a grad, Irie Jr., Funk Jr., Vaisanen Sr., Ranclub, the transfer grad, and then next up is Parika, their freshman defenseman, who's had a really good start for them as well. So they've got some really good experience in their leading core, and that's what they rely on to be successful.
Well, they've had a lot of goaltending consistency over the years because Scholl, as you mentioned, he's been there a while, and then you had Zach Driscoll a couple of years ago, and Driscoll was a guy who felt like he was there for 20 years too. Yeah. So you've had, really 2 main starting goaltenders at Bemidji State over the last 8 years,
even more. You go back to Dalton. Like that's kind of been the way Coach Saratori's done it. Like he gets his guy and they ride him if the guy's capable for 3-4 years there, and then they get the replacement. Whereas you look at like St. Thomas, rotating 2 goalies. Rico, even going back to Miami, would rotate 2 goalies much more. But yeah, Coach Saratori's certainly been a guy that has rode one goaltender and brought the next one in. So you get these very experienced goalies as juniors and seniors, and really impactful players.
Yeah, they picked up Jackson Judding a couple of years ago from Colorado College. When Colorado College kind of cleaned house, a lot of guys came out of that, including Nate Schweitzer. But Judding's good. He wins a lot of face-offs. He's not a real big guy, but he's a really big face-off man.
Yeah, I would imagine they'll try to get him against Connor Milburn as much as they can. We'll control some of those matchups, having home ice there, which would be nice. It's been a while. We've only had one home game in the last 8 or 9 or something like that. So it's been a lot of not be able to control or dictate matchups a whole heck of a lot. So we'll get a little bit more say in what that looks like there. But yeah, Judding's a key guy for them, starting with that elite face-off ability he brings, but a really good, responsible matchup guy who likes, kind of thrives in shutting down other teams' top centers or top players.